Okay, my name is Dylan Rees. I'm from Swansea University, and I'm here to present our paper, A Streamribbon Seeding Strategy, on behalf of my co-authors and myself. So we start with stream ribbons. What are they and what they're used for? Stream ribbons are a method of visualizing static vector flow fields. So you can see flow behavior and features within the flow. They're a type of stream object. And other stream objects we have are streamlines and stream surfaces. Streamlines are perhaps the most simple form of stream objects, which are simply lines which are instantaneously at a tangent of the velocity of the flow. So you can think of it as the line showing which way the flow goes within the static velocity flow fields. Stream ribbons are an extension of this in that they have width. We can see the two examples we have on the slide here of a streamline at the top and the stream ribbon of the same streamline. We can see the benefit of the stream ribbon in that it shows twisting along the line, which you don't see with streamlines. Stream surfaces, then, which I also mentioned, are slightly different again in that they don't have a fixed width that the stream ribbon does. So stream surfaces are used to are constructed by drawing a surface between two streamlines usually, whereas this is different from stream ribbons. Stream ribbons, like I said, are effective at showing the twisting motion. This twisting motion I mentioned is known as helicity. It's basically a measure of the knottedness and how tangled a flow is. And you can think of it as the tendency of the streamline to rotate, or the corkscrew motion of a streamline. You can see here I've got two examples of stream ribbons. The bottom green one here we can see is in laminar flow, and you can see it's just a straight ribbon, there's no twisting in it, so this has very low helicity, basically on zero helicity. In contrast then we've got the red ribbon above it. We can see this is twisting a lot, so it just shows a high value of helicity. Helicity is a scalar field value and is derived from the velocity vectors within a flow field. Although it's scalar, it is, however, directional, and if you're using the right-hand rule, anti-clockwise would be positive. Deciding where to place these stream objects is not a trivial matter, really. You want to be able to highlight features and behavior within the flow, so you need to know where to put these stream objects. And that's where we have automatic seeding algorithms. Streamlines have had automatic seeding algorithms for over 20 years now. There are various different kinds, and we can see a few examples here. Some are there to highlight features within the flow, while others are for illustrative effects. Stream surfaces more recently have also had some seeding algorithms, and we can see a couple here on the left-hand side of the screen. As yet, there aren't any stream ribbon seeding algorithms, and that's what we hope to propose here. So we move on to our seeding algorithm. Our algorithm utilizes the helicity of the flow field to place the stream ribbons. So therefore benefiting, using the benefits of stream ribbons to actually show the helicity within the field. So our algorithm, first we need to calculate the helicity density at each vertex within the flow field, and then order these by the helicity density magnitude. We take the vertex with the highest helicity density magnitude then, and use this as our seeding point for our first ribbon. This ribbon then is integrated forward and backwards using whatever methods you prefer, Euler or Roncutter, until either we reach the boundary or we hit a sink or a source. Once the ribbon is complete, we move on to our next vertex in our list. And if this is over a prescribed distance away from our original ribbon, we can use this as our next seeding point. And again, then we would integrate until the ribbon exceeds the flow domain, a sink or a source, or it becomes too close to another ribbon. And that's our basis for our algorithm. There are a few seeding options to go with the algorithm. The first is the ribbon width. The user can decide if he wants wide ribbons or narrow ribbons. We can see an example in the top two images here, where we have a wide ribbon and you can see the twisting easier versus the smaller ribbon. However, if we have a lot of these wide ribbons, we tend to have a lot of clutter in an image, and it can cause occlusion problems. Our second seeding option is the ribbon separation distance. I mentioned in our algorithm that we have a prescribed distance between ribbons, and from where a vertex is from another ribbon as a seeding vertex. And the user can control this distance. It also is the same distance then used to terminate a ribbon when it gets too close to another ribbon. Finally then we have a minimum ribbon length user option. When we first were using our algorithm, we were finding we were getting a lot of very short ribbons that weren't really contributing anything to the visualization. This looked like a load of confetti almost within our visualization, and it wasn't very desirable, so we implemented this minimum ribbon length so we could tune these out. Then the user has the option then to get rid of the smaller options as they see fit then to produce the visualization like they want. We also have a Streamribbon filtering method to go along with the algorithm, and this filtering method basically removes the last seeded ribbon, the ribbon that we seeded last. So at the seed point with the lowest Helicity density magnitudes. We found this to be fairly effective in that it removes the ribbons from the less, or the more laminar parts of a flow, the parts without anything interesting effectively, and this tend to leave vortices behind. And vortices are what flow analysts find interesting basically. This is where all the work for flow analysis tends to look for. And we can move on to some of our results. Here we have a tornado simulation, and here I want to show the difference between wide ribbons and narrow ribbons. So here we can see it's quite a cluttered image with the wide ribbons. You can't quite see clearly into the center of the flow domain. We can filter away to see a bit better. Well, this is not ideal. We can contrast that then with narrow ribbons, which we see here. We can see a lot clearer into the image, a lot less cluttering, and some less occlusion. We can also see the effectiveness of the filtering technique here, in that the stream ribbons away from the center of the vortex are removed first, so we'll then be left with the vortex, the interesting part of the flow. Next we have an ABC flow. Here we have an example of the minimum ribbon separation distance. This is a very small distance between ribbons. We can see again it's quite a cluttered visualization before we filter it, and it causes occlusion problems. You can see the filtering again, and we're left with 3 vortex cores in this one. You can see quite effective, the effectiveness of the filtering. And here we have a large ribbon separation distance with everything else being the same. We can see a lot clearer into the volume. However, we may lose some of the details of the flow. And again, we can see the filtering into our 3 vortex cores. And then finally we have a Rayleigh-Bernard convection flow, and here we will demonstrate our user option of the minimum ribbon length. You can see a lot of these small confetti-like ribbons in here, which don't really contribute to the be able to see anything within the flow. And here we see the filtering of them again. Colour, incidentally, in all of these images is mapped to the Helicity density of the ribbons. You can see the twisting of the centre of these vortices here. we can see we have a high number of ribbons there, over 500 ribbons in this visualization. In contrast to this time, we have only 11 ribbons and a long minimum ribbon distance. You can see the flow a bit better without having all these confetti-like short ribbons within it. You can see then we can filter down to a single ribbon to see details within the flow. I'd like to then move on to our future work for our project. We hopefully work on next to be a streams ribbon similarity index. This is built on something that already exists with streamlines, where the properties of streamlines are kind of measured with the aim of reducing the number of streamlines, so you can have a proper representation of a flow with a minimal number of streamlines. We'd hope to repeat this with stream ribbons. We'd also like to investigate the effect of different lateral orientations of a ribbon at its seed point. Currently we just align it to a major axis, so this is where the ribbon starts effectively, and see what difference this has on the visualizations. And that concludes my talk, and I'd like to thank you for your attention and ask if there are any questions or comments.
Any questions or comments for Liam? For Dylan, or Liam?
I have a comment.
Yeah.
So at the beginning, you talk about the Helicity, and I can't remember the other thing off the top of my head. You talk about two things and describe them, and you describe them before you actually tell us why they're necessary for your project or your paper.
Okay. Which talk about what?
So you describe Helicity right at the beginning.
Yeah.
It's one of the first things you do.
Yeah.
But you kind of just start describing it before you describe what your paper actually does.
Okay. So you think there should be like something before that to explain?
Yeah. So maybe move that maybe a slide after.
Okay. Okay. So it's basically background effectively, Helicity.
Yeah. But you're telling us the background of something that we don't really know yet. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
I have the same comment in my notes.
Okay.
So you need at the very beginning a slide that's something like challenges of visualizing 3D flow.
Okay.
You need something like that at the very beginning.
Yeah. Okay.
And that has to go before your discussion of Helicity.
Okay. So but after, say, so after stream ribbons, perhaps we'll explain stream ribbons, or...
So if we go back to the beginning, I would say that slide number 2 should be challenges of visualizing 3D flow.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. And you have, and then you in those challenges, one of them is seating,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
And so that makes sense to have that as the next slide.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, you have automatic stream object seating, but you would push that earlier.
Okay.
Before your description of Helicity.
Okay. Before stream ribbon description as well, stream objects.
Yeah, probably as the third slide or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I did originally have it there, but I think I moved it.
So you have, yeah.
The only comment I had was you said when you said a bunch of images of different types of surface, and you said on the left, but it was actually on the right.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay. Depends which way you look at it. I was thinking of this. I'm thinking, is this the left or is this the left? Isn't it? Oh, it's left of the on the screen.
Yeah, it's your left.
Yeah, it's the left of the screen as well.
It's not our left.
It's the left.
I would just say.
Yeah, I just
stage left. Yes.
Yeah, stage left.
Stage left.
I wasn't too sure what to say about that because I did think, okay, so is this left or is this right? So,
You could just say this side and point.
Yeah,
This side.
Yeah, you could just say here.
Over here.
Yeah. Yeah, but if you're kind of stood from here, saying there's a big screen there, you say over that
The
side.
far side.
Yeah. Okay. Left, right.
If it helps. Classic, you get in the car with someone and you say turn left and they do this for the steering wheel. Oh, it stresses me out.
I've got a comment about the right-hand rule as well, which decides which way your positive is. Do you remember this?
Oh, yeah, something in Fleming's left hand.
Yeah, something similar.
So on slide number 2, by the way, you also want your current slide number 2.
Yeah.
You want to say effective at visualization of helicity.
Okay. Yeah.
But that slide is going to get pushed
Yeah.
way down after your challenges of visualizing 3D flow. It's, seating and stuff like that.
Okay.
So I would also highly recommend you provide an overview diagram for your a ribbon seating strategy.
Okay.
That is the best way to present that is with an overview diagram.
Okay.
We would have had that if you had had more space in your paper. We didn't, so we never discussed it.
Okay.
But in a full-length paper,
Yeah.
no question.
Okay.
No question.
Okay.
So
So you need something in that outside as well, visual. So.
this description here is missing lots of things on slide number 4. A ribbon seating strategy. You're missing lots and lots of information.
Mm-hmm.
You don't say anything about the input, like the input of vector field, for example.
Okay.
You know, and then do your derivation of a helicity field would be stage 2.
Yeah.
You know, and then you have your seating strategy, the steps in the seating strategy.
Okay.
That instead of pseudocode, you have a diagram.
Okay.
That would be really helpful.
Yeah.
These words are
Yeah.
they're better than nothing, but I don't think anybody would know what your seating strategy was if we gave a little quiz.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody would really know.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Is the strategy like your algorithm?
Yeah.
And another thing is here, you say order vertices in order of decreasing helicity. I would really, really not use that term vertices. Data samples.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Vertices are pieces of a triangle or something like that.
Yeah.
Data samples are really what you're ordering here. You're ranking the data samples.
Yeah.
In fact, I wouldn't say the word order either. I would use the word rank.
Okay.
Because order implies that you're rearranging all of the data samples in a different order than which is not really a good way to go.
Okay.
It makes sense more to rank them.
Yeah. Yeah. I can see.
Somehow.
Yeah. Okay.
Just because it wasn't brought up, how was the time?
I think it's about 11 minutes on my watch.
I have 12-ish minutes.
Yeah. So it was 11 something. So yeah.
And what do you get? 10 minutes plus 5 minutes of questions, or?
Well, I figured it was about 20 minutes per paper, effectively, all in.
Oh, okay.
So, but that's everything then in terms of setup for this.
I guess you will go faster.
Yeah, that's the thing as well. Yeah.
When you revise your slides, though, you're going to have more information.
Yeah.
because you skipped the topic of flow visualization kind of completely.
Yeah.
Like, this is a flow visualization paper,
Okay.
and these are the challenges with visualizing 3D flow.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
And when you have a pipeline diagram, you're going to mention each stage of the pipeline.
Yeah.
You didn't mention each stage of the pipeline here.
Okay. So yeah, so it's gonna be long.
It'll be probably be a little bit longer.
Yeah. Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
balanced out with the nervousness.
Yeah.
Also on the slide, by the way, this slide, the numbering starts to go wrong. So this is, I believe, actually slide number 5. A ribbon seating strategy. It says 4, but I
Oh yeah, that's
the numbering.
I don't. Yeah, I think you've got a different slightly different version. I thought I deleted it. The slide numbers. Yeah, the numbers are totally off.
Yeah.
And they're not in the presentation officially. I
Okay.
think it's just
Okay.
Excel's or PowerPoint's added it.
I see. I see. Yeah. Yeah. That's partially my fault because my template, the numbering is. I've never got the numbering to work properly.
Oh, right. I tried to delete them all out, thinking, okay, I think I've got them all now, but PowerPoints keep on putting them back in.
The slide that's titled User Seating Options,
Yes.
I would just call that User Options.
Okay.
Because they're, strictly speaking, they're not all seating options.
Yeah.
Some of them are just adjusting the properties of the ribbon, not the actual seeds.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So, also on this slide,
Mm-hmm.
the first 2 images make sense. Ribbon separation distance and minimum ribbon length.
Those 2 ribbons actually belong to the ribbon separation distance. I meant to talk about them actually, but I forgot. And I haven't actually got anything to show for the ribbon length.
Yeah, so these images, you want to upgrade these.
Okay.
Because just like in the paper, for every parameter you have a pair of images
Yeah.
that show the effects.
Yeah.
You want the same thing here.
Okay. So effectively, I've got the first one. These 2 belong to the ribbon separation, and I haven't got anything to the ribbon length. So if I add an extra 2 in, then is that?
Yep, and you want them to be right next to each other.
Okay.
You may as well just use the figures from the paper.
Yeah. Yeah.
You worked hard on getting those, so
Yeah.
they're sitting there waiting for you,
Okay.
and you could put them in there. Did anybody in the audience get that? Did you guys know that those 2 images correspond both to ribbon separating distance, and then there were no images corresponding to minimum ribbon length?
I didn't know.
Did anybody
So the
notice?
bottom one was
I didn't know.
ribbon.
I was.
I didn't know what was.
I was supposed to bring it up, but I missed that. I was going to mention. Yeah. I think that's why I was a little bit shorter than what I thought it would be as well. I missed that a little bit.
The video demo is very good.
Yeah,
Very
so I
good.
like that.
That's where everything comes together.
Yeah.
Like, everything started to make sense, but up until that point,
Okay.
things were a little bit
Yeah.
chaotic.
Okay.
And you want a slide, or at least a bullet point, but I would recommend a slide called Domain Expert Feedback.
Okay.
Well, you might not even have time for it, but you want that slide either in the presentation or after the presentation, because that's certainly going to be coming up.
Okay.
You could leave it out, and then as soon as a person asks, say, bam, here's my slide, and be a hero.
Predicting the question.
You're
yeah.
welcome to use that use
Yeah.
that option. But
Okay.
it's certainly that's going to come up. People are certainly going to be wondering about that. Did you show this to anybody?
Yeah.
Or are you just calling yourself a hero, like a self-proclaimed hero?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
What for the examples pictures? Are there examples? I think it's in.
The video or
No, not the video. I think in your first presentation.
that one?
No, before. I think.
Before that?
Yeah, they're all examples. You said examples.
There's only the video with examples, really.
The automatic stream object seeding?
Yeah, this one.
Automatic stream object seeding slide.
Oh yeah, the yeah.
The examples. I think I don't know if this
It's
your data or example.
no, it's previous work effectively.
I don't know, but I think maybe because some of them are quite amazing, like this one. I'm not sure. I think.
So mention a bit more of them.
Huh?
No, yeah, these are examples of other work basically. Other streams.
You reference them? Do you think to need to reference them in your presentation?
I've got at the end. I've got a. I was going to ask about this. Thanks to the following. Oops.
I did reference them in the paper. Do I need to reference them in my presentation?
Yeah.
It would be good. So actually that slide, it makes sense to call that slide related work in
Okay.
automatic stream object seeding.
Okay.
There's a bit of one.
In terms of acknowledgements, I've just got, if I can skip straight to the end. So I've got the thanks to the following. So I've just picked the primary author of each paper. Should I select every author within all the papers, do you think? Or?
I would have put those names below the images.
Okay.
Yeah. So Edmonds et al., for example, below the stream surface seeding image.
Yeah.
And Matausch et al. Below the streamline and so on.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. The audience will be very happy to see that in the related work on automatic stream object seeding slide.
Okay.
The image, Matausch et al.
Yeah.
And so for each image.
Yeah. So then we just have the cast logos effectively here.
Yep. And you have basically you look at your acknowledgements section and you copy and paste that into the acknowledgements slide.
Okay.
Just copy and paste the whole thing.
Yeah. Including
proofreading, everything.
Oh, right,
yeah.
okay.
Just copy paste. Yeah. In the related work on automatic stream object seeding slide.
Yeah.
The audience will really appreciate their names. They want to see their names.
Yeah.
Some of the people that have done the work may be in the audience.
Yeah.
And if you show their image and they're sitting there in the audience, they're going to want to see their name.
Yeah. Yeah. That's fair.
So it makes sense to include their names.
Okay. You don't have to ask for permission or anything for it.
No. And by the way, there will be people in the audience that have done work in this area, and that's why they're coming to your presentation, because they have done work in this area.
Yeah.
All the EuroVis people are going to come to this talk.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah. Okay.
Any other questions, comments? Anything like that? Thank you. Very nice. Very nice. Nice to carry on the EuroVis tradition.
Only temporarily, is it?
Even if it's just a small thing. Yeah. Here are the notes that I took as well.